If you thought there couldn't be many such bubbles, listen to this. Some calculations suggest there could be a billion universes, each with its unique characteristics. And here's the question. What if, in some of these universes, there are beings who understand physics differently than we do? They might not know the laws that are obvious to us and try to explain their observations in completely different ways. This opens up a wealth of possibilities for science fiction, but also for serious science. There are even theories that our universe might be a temporary construction that will disappear as the bubble contracts, leaving only traces behind. Imagine if we could discover other bubbles using new technologies that are just beginning to be developed. Satellites and telescopes of the future could study not only light but also gravity to try and peer beyond our bubble. And the most shocking part, according to some calculations, if the bubble contracts, it could create conditions for a new Big Bang in another universe. This means that the process of creating new universes could go on indefinitely. So, if you've ever wondered if there is life beyond our universe, remember, life in other bubbles could be completely different from what we know. Imagine a universe with a diameter of approximately 93 billion light years, yet the age of this universe is merely 13 and 8/10 billion years. How is this possible? The paradox of space expansion challenges our understanding of distance and time. When we observe distant galaxies, we see them as they were billions of years ago because light travels at an incredible speed of 300,000 kilometers per second. However, what is astonishing is that due to the expanding space, which moves faster than the speed of light, we can observe objects located at distances exceeding 39 billion light years. Hubble has become a true tool for understanding not only how our universe is structured but also its fate. Now, imagine that in the next decade, it will operate with even more advanced tools, expanding its capabilities to study the most distant corners of the cosmos. And the strangest thing? The scientific data obtained by Hubble could change our understanding of time and space. In our solar system, there exists a mysterious Kuiper belt, which stretches beyond the orbit of Neptune and contains thousands of icy objects, among which is Pluto, a dwarf planet discovered in 1930. This belt is named after astronomer Gerard Kuiper, who theorized its existence in the mid-20th century. Imagine this as an area where icy bodies, the size of mountains, float in the vast expanse of space, and it contains more than 30,000 known objects, with the actual number possibly exceeding 1 million. What is most astonishing? These icy worlds may hold resources that will one day be crucial for future space missions. For instance, objects like Eris, with a diameter of about 900 kilometers, may contain water in the form of ice, opening up prospects for the colonization of other planets. But that's not all. The Kuiper belt also contains other dwarf planets like Haumea and Makemake, each with unique characteristics and shapes. Haumea, for example, has an elongated form, resembling a giant rugby ball, and its surface is covered with crystalline ice that reflects sunlight, creating a sparkling effect. Now, imagine these objects, located more than 4 billion kilometers from the Sun, are not just icy chunks, but actual time capsules preserving traces of the early solar system. But what is truly shocking is that some of these objects may experience collisions, creating new moons and altering their orbits. And here's the thing. Research shows that the Kuiper belt may be even larger than we thought, with countless objects yet to be discovered. On Pluto, an area resembling a heart has been discovered, named Tombaugh in honor of the astronomer Clyde Tombaugh. This light form covers an area of approximately 90,000 square kilometers and consists of frozen nitrogen, methane, and carbon dioxide. Imagine this surface as a vast frozen ocean where temperatures drop to minus 260 degrees Celsius. What is truly astonishing is that within this heart-shaped region, scientists have found an uneven distribution of these frozen substances, indicating possible geological processes beneath the surface. But there's more. Inside this area there may be vast reservoirs of liquid layers where methane and nitrogen could be in liquid form. This discovery raises the question of whether active geological processes are occurring on Pluto, despite its distance. Remarkably, this heart region not only attracts the attention of astronomers but also inspires artists and writers worldwide. They create images of what this frozen world might look like, where the heart of Pluto beats in the rhythm of the cosmos. And here's where it gets truly fascinating. If you look at the images taken by the New Horizons probe, you can see dark spots in some parts of this heart, which could indicate the presence of organic compounds. This discovery makes one wonder about the possibility of life in the most extreme conditions. And the most amazing thing about this story is that Pluto, once considered just a frozen dwarf planet, may be much more complex and interesting than we ever thought. Astronomers, using modern telescopes like the Hubble, continue to uncover new worlds, and each new object they find challenges our understanding of planetary formation. The question arises, what other secrets are hidden in this icy realm and what discoveries await us? Each new object found in the Kuiper Belt reveals new aspects of our solar system and may change our understanding of its evolution.
In the cosmos, there exist mysterious objects that do not fit into any of the familiar categories. These are brown dwarfs.
Imagine an object that is comparable in size to a planet but not massive enough to initiate thermonuclear reactions like a star.
Brown dwarfs have masses ranging from 30 to 70 Jupiter masses, making them larger than the largest planets but still not massive enough for stellar life. How do such objects end up in this unique category? During their formation, they pass through a stage similar to that of stars but cannot reach the necessary temperature in the core to ignite hydrogen fusion, leading to their unstable state.
They are not just giant planets. Brown dwarfs emit heat through processes of compression and convection, and their temperature can reach thousands of degrees Celsius, although they do not shine as brightly as stars.
Do you know that some of them can have atmospheres similar to that of Jupiter, with clouds of ice and ammonia crystals? But that's not the strangest part. Brown dwarfs can even have their own satellites, similar to those orbiting gas giants. For example, in 2005, astronomers discovered a brown dwarf named ULIRD-227, located just 30 light-years from Earth and with a mass equivalent to 40 Jupiters.
This object became a sensation because its study could provide insights into the formation of planetary systems. But wait, there's more. Brown dwarfs can even be the ancestors of planets that were once part of more massive stellar systems, but were ejected into space due to gravitational interactions.
Do you know that such objects can contain water in the form of ice and even organic molecules, opening new horizons for the search for extraterrestrial life? In space, there are places where the magic of starbirth happens right before our eyes. These are known as star nurseries.
Imagine vast clouds of gas stretching for tens of light years, filled with hydrogen and helium, where conditions are right for the formation of new stars. One of the most famous examples of such regions is the Eagle Nebula, located about 2,300 light-years from Earth. This nebula is a giant cloud of gas and dust where temperatures reach several thousand degrees Kelvin, creating ideal conditions for star formation. But here's the fascinating part. In this cloud, there are stars that are several times more massive than our Sun, and their formation occurs due to the gravitational collapse of these gas clouds. But that's not the strangest thing.
Within the Eagle Nebula, active regions known as protostars begin to emerge as the gas clouds compress under their own gravity. These protostars become brighter, emitting energy, and eventually transform into full-fledged stars. What's even more astonishing, in the Eagle Nebula you can find the trapezium, a group of 4 bright stars called trapezium stars, which contribute to the ionization of the surrounding gas, creating remarkable and luminous structures.
These stars have masses ranging from 10 to 16 solar masses and are among the hottest in our galaxy. This leads to the newborn stars constantly being influenced by strong radiation, which can destroy lighter molecules and even hinder the formation of new stars. If you thought that was amazing, wait for this. During star formation in the Eagle Nebula, powerful outbursts and radiation are released, which can trigger the formation of planetary systems. Around newly born stars, accretion disks filled with gas and dust form, which can later become homes for exoplanets. And here's where it gets really crazy. Scientific research shows that in such regions as the Eagle Nebula, the process of star formation happens so quickly that new stars can emerge every few million years, leading to a constant increase in the number of stars in our galaxy. Imagine this. This black hole possesses gravitational force strong enough to keep stars in orbit at distances up to 100,000 light-years from its center. But here's the most astonishing part. Stars orbiting around Sagittarius. A star move at incredible speeds, up to 4 million kilometers per hour. This means they travel around the black hole at a distance of just 7 billion kilometers, which is 10 times closer than the distance from Earth to the Sun. But how did astronomers manage to discover such a mysterious structure? They observed the movement of these stars over many years using powerful telescopes like the La Silla Observatory in Chile and those located in Hawaii. It turned out that the stars orbiting an invisible object follow trajectories that cannot be explained without accounting for the monstrous mass of the supermassive black hole.
But that's not all. Recent research shows that Sagittarius A Salt can emit powerful energy bursts when material objects enter its gravitational field, collapsing and forming an accretion disk. This disk, composed of hot gas and dust, can reach temperatures of millions of degrees, emitting X-ray radiation that our instruments can detect. Did you know that, according to the latest data, Sagittarius A star is not the only black hole in our galaxy? Scientists estimate that there could be up to 100 billion smaller black holes in the Milky Way, formed from the collapse of stars.
This opens new horizons for understanding the evolution and structure of our galaxy. Incidentally, there is a so-called sphere of influence around Sagittarius A star, an area where the black hole's gravitational field dominates other forces. This sphere can extend up to 33 light-years, and here's where it gets truly mind-boggling. Imagine that within this gravitational hell there could be not only stars but entire planetary systems subjected to intense gravitational forces. The question is whether they could survive in such conditions. In the end, Sagittarius A star is just one of countless black holes in the universe, and scientists continue to search for traces of other supermassive black holes in distant galaxies, which might be even more massive and mysterious.
Dark matter makes up approximately 27% of the universe, but here's the catch: we can't see it. How is that possible?
The reason is that this mysterious substance neither emits light nor interacts with electromagnetic forces like ordinary matter. Imagine a room with bright light and a huge black object that reflects no light. We can see how surrounding objects react to this black object, but we can't see the object itself. Astronomers discovered it through gravitational effects it has on visible matter. Each new fact about magnetars raises even more questions, and scientists continue to search for answers, delving deeper into the mysteries of the cosmos. On Saturn's moon Enceladus, there are genuine water shows. Geysers shoot water jets up to 500 kilometers high. Imagine this. A surface covered in pristine white ice suddenly bursts open, releasing water clouds into space that can span several kilometers. These geysers were discovered by the Cassini mission in 2015, and this discovery shocked scientists. Beneath the icy crust lies a vast ocean.
This subsurface water is not just frozen. It is in a liquid state, with temperatures reaching minus 30 degrees Celsius. This means that Enceladus could harbor conditions suitable for life, beyond our wildest imagination.
But that's not all. Organic molecules have been found in these water jets, suggesting the possible existence of life. How can these geysers be active? It's all due to tidal heating, caused by the gravitational interaction with Saturn. This force causes the icy crust to rise and fall, creating dangerous conditions for the formation of cracks, from which the geysers erupt.
When a geyser releases water, it disperses into space and can even form rings around Saturn, as seen with other moons.
But here's the most incredible part. These geysers can not only eject water but also small ice particles that then settle on the surface, forming sedimentary rocks. Thus, Enceladus has its own ice volcanoes, which could indicate active geological processes. Studies show that these eruptions occur periodically, and scientists are still undecided on how frequently this happens. Some believe the geysers are active for several months and then remain dormant for years. Thanks to these observations, we can understand how the world beneath the icy crust behaves. And what's even more intriguing, analysis of the collected data suggests that these waters might contain more than just chemical elements. There could be ecosystems entirely unlike anything we know on Earth. Research continues, and each new finding opens doors to new mysteries. These clouds in turn have the property of flickering, creating the illusion of bright light flashes, which attract the attention of astronomers. All this exoticism makes HD 189733b a real mystery that still needs to be solved. And do you know what's even more bizarre? Scientists suggest that such planets could give us clues about how life might look in conditions different from all known to us.
The greatest mystery of the cosmos lies in the structure known as the Sloan Great Wall. Imagine an object that stretches across a distance of 1,370,000,000 light-years.
This colossal wall consists of 1,000,000 galaxies arranged in such a way that they form a vast network, much like a spider's web spanning the entire known cosmos.
But what is astonishing, its mass exceeds the mass of all the stars in the universe, including our own galaxy, by 30 times. Each of these cosmic giants can contain billions of stars, and their interactions give rise to remarkable phenomena.
Have you ever wondered how such massive structures can influence gravity in their surroundings? They create gravitational traps, attracting neighboring galaxies and forming even larger clusters. Now, imagine that some galaxies are located more than 1 billion light-years away from Earth, and their light takes billions of years to reach us. This means that we are observing these galaxies as they were billions of years ago, when the universe was still young and rapidly evolving. But that's not all. The Sloan Great Wall is not the only such structure. In fact, there are many such walls around us, forming a universe of immense voids and clusters. For instance, the Void of the Warrior, which contains almost no galaxies, has a diameter of around 100 million light-years.
What's even more astonishing, These structures are not static, they continue to evolve, and their interactions can lead to the formation of new galaxies or even entire clusters.
The true madness sets in when we realize that each of these interactions can reshape the universe as we know it. In the end, it is precisely such colossal structures as the Sloan Great Wall that help scientists understand how the universe formed and what forces are at work within it. And what is truly intriguing, some researchers suggest that studying such objects may provide clues about dark matter and dark energy, which make up a large part of the universe but remain invisible to us. Magnetars are not just stars but true cosmic giants, possessing magnetic fields that are trillions of times stronger than Earth's magnetic field. Imagine this: just 1 gram of material from the surface of a magnetar can create a magnetic field capable of sending an entire planet into orbit. These neutron stars form as a result of the collapse of massive stars, and their density is such that a teaspoon of magnetar material weighs around 1,000,000 tons.
But that's not all. The magnetic fields of magnetars can reach magnitudes that even the most experienced astrophysicists find shocking. For example, the magnetic field of one well-known magnetar, SGR 2032, exceeds 32 million Tesla.
This is more than the magnetic fields generated by all known sources on Earth combined. But how do they work? Due to their incredible strength, magnetars can emit powerful X-ray and gamma rays that can be detected over millions of light years. This creates real bursts, brief but incredibly powerful outbursts of radiation that can outshine entire galaxies. What's even more astonishing, these bursts can occur at intervals of just a few seconds, and scientists still don't fully understand the mechanism behind their origin.
But if you thought that was amazing, wait until you hear this. Magnetars can even cause magnetic storms within a radius of thousands of light years, influencing the cosmic environment and even affecting the operation of satellites in Earth's orbit.
This means that magnetars can impact the technologies we use every day. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Our galaxy may contain up to 100 magnetars, and their study opens up new horizons in astronomy and physics.
When astronomers in the early 21st century began studying how quickly galaxies are moving away from us, they discovered that the rate of their recession is increasing over time.
It turned out that dark energy opposes gravity, which would seem to slow down this process. But that's not all. Scientists suggest that dark energy may have its roots in quantum mechanics, where the vacuum of space is filled with virtual particles that appear and disappear in fractions of a second. These particles can create pressure that contributes to the expansion of the universe. Do you know what this means? It means that in the future, the universe may be completely different from what we know it to be. In a few billion years, the distance between galaxies will be so great that we won't be able to observe other galaxies except our own. It's as if you were on the shore of an ocean, and the waves carried you farther and farther away from other beaches. The most intriguing part is that despite the fact that dark energy constitutes a large part of the energy in the universe, its nature remains unexplained. Research continues, and some scientists even suggest that dark energy may be connected to changes in the space-time continuum.
When we look at the night sky, we see only a small part of this mysterious energy that governs the fate of the entire universe. What lies beyond our understanding may hold the key to solving many cosmic mysteries.
And here's another thing. Some theories claim that dark energy can change over time, making its study even more fascinating and complex. With each new discovery, we get closer to understanding this invisible force that may shape the future of all existence. Since its launch, Voyager 1 has not only covered vast physical distances, but has also become a symbol of human curiosity about the unknown. It continues to amaze us by sending messages about the cosmos beyond our familiar realm. And the most intriguing fact, in 1983, just 6 years after its launch, Voyager 1 captured the famous pale blue dot photograph, a picture of Earth from a distance of over 6 billion kilometers, where our home appears as a tiny speck against the vast expanse of space. According to the theory of inflation, our universe may be just one of many bubbles in the vast expanse of the multiverse. Imagine this. At the moment of the Big Bang, our universe began to expand rapidly. But what if this expansion was not the only one? Scientists suggest that at the same time, other bubbles, separate universes, could have been born, each with its own physical laws and constants. The most fascinating part is that these bubbles could be completely incompatible with each other. In one universe, only particles that do not exist in our universe could exist, while in another, time could flow differently. This is not just fantasy. Such ideas are supported by serious physicists like Andre Linde, who has detailed his hypotheses about the multiverse. But how can we test this?
Here's where it gets interesting. Some scientists believe that traces of these other universes might be visible in our cosmos. For example, Anomalies in the cosmic microwave background radiation could indicate interactions with neighboring bubbles.
How does this happen? When two bubbles collide, they can generate gravitational waves that we can detect using modern telescopes. But this is just the beginning. And what is even more intriguing, the chemical structure of ethanol in space and on Earth is almost identical, which may indicate that the basic building blocks of life are spread throughout the galaxy. So what else does Sagittarius B2 hide?
Research continues, and scientists are confident that this cloud holds more amazing molecules that could help unravel the mysteries of the origin of life on Earth and beyond.
Imagine a star that rotates so quickly that its axis turns 7 times per second. This is a pulsar, and they are some of the most accurate clocks in the universe. These neutron stars form as a result of catastrophic supernova explosions, and their density is such that 1 cubic centimeter of a pulsar can weigh as much as a mountain. What is truly astonishing is how pulsars emit radio waves. They create pulsations that can be observed from Earth, allowing astronomers to determine their location with incredible precision. Did you know that one of the most famous pulsars, PSR B0656+14, rotates so fast that its radiation reaches Earth with a period of 300 milliseconds? This means that its pulsars can be used to test the theory of relativity.
But that's not all. Pulsars can serve not only as clocks but also as a kind of globes for studying the curvature of space-time. 8 pulsars in a system known as the pulsar cluster can measure changes in space-time caused by gravitational waves that penetrate our cosmos.
It's amazing, but in the 21st century, scientists discovered that these neutron stars can even help in the search for exoplanets. If a pulsar changes its rhythm, this can indicate the presence of a planet that affects its motion. How about that? But wait, there's something even more shocking. Some pulsars, like PSRJ 1748-2446AD, rotate at an incredible speed, up to 700 revolutions per minute. This makes them the fastest rotating stars known to science. How can they maintain such speed without destruction? The answer lies in their incredible density and strong magnetic fields.
Recent research suggests that there may be up to 30 billion brown dwarfs in our galaxy, and each of them may hold secrets about the formation of our solar system and other planetary systems. Brown dwarfs are not just intermediate stars, they are entire worlds waiting to be explored.
At the center of the galaxy M87 lies a supermassive black hole with a mass exceeding 6.5 billion solar masses. To grasp the magnitude of this, consider that it is twice as heavy as all the stars in our own galaxy combined. However, the most captivating events began in 2019, when astronomers first managed to capture an image of this black hole using the Event Horizon Telescope project. Imagine, this was a true breakthrough in astronomy. A team of over 200 scientists working with data from 8 radio telescopes around the world collaborated to create an image that became a sensation. This image showed a bright ring of light surrounding the black hole caused by the heating of gas being drawn towards it. This process was so powerful that temperatures reached millions of degrees, creating luminosity that could rival an entire galaxy. But that's not all. The black hole in M87 emits jets that can stretch for millions of light years, reaching speeds close to the speed of light. These jets are streams of particles ejected from the poles of the black hole, and their study provides scientists with a unique understanding of how black holes influence their surroundings. Did you know that black holes can even affect the formation of galaxies? Research shows that powerful jets can accelerate gas in galaxies, preventing it from condensing and thus limiting the formation of new stars. Venus is surrounded by a dense atmosphere composed of 97% carbon dioxide, which creates a greenhouse effect, preventing heat from escaping into space. Now, imagine clouds of sulfuric acid that envelope the planet, creating a terrifying sight. These clouds reflect up to 70% of the sunlight, making Venus brighter than any other planet visible from Earth. But how is this possible? The atmosphere of Venus is 80 times denser than Earth's, which means the pressure on its surface is 9 times greater than on Earth. How does this planet survive in such conditions? Scientists suggest that in the distant past Venus may have had oceans of water, but everything changed as its atmosphere became so dense. How has this affected the possibility of life? There are more secrets here than meet the eye.
Additionally, it's worth noting that Venus rotates in the opposite direction to most planets in the solar system. This means that on Venus, the sun rises in the west and sets in the east, creating a true cosmic anomaly.
And what's even more astonishing? Venus has mountain ranges that reach up to 3 kilometers in height, and it's possible that this planet was once similar to our Earth. But how could such changes have occurred? Each new fact about Venus raises new questions that scientists continue to explore. On Saturn's northern pole lies a giant hexagonal storm that captivates the imagination and has maintained its unique forms for decades. The diameter of this storm is approximately 25,000 kilometers, which is greater than the distance from New York to Los Angeles. But what makes this storm so unusual? Firstly, its 6 sides are perfectly symmetrical, and this is not a coincidence. Scientists believe that such a shape arises due to the complex dynamics of the atmosphere, where enormous gas flows interact with each other.
When the Cassini probe flew by Saturn, it captured the hexagon in stunning detail, and the images amazed the scientists. The storm was surrounded by bright clouds that shimmered in blue and white colors, creating a true cosmic masterpiece.
Imagine a planet where rivers flow not with water, but with pure diamonds. Such exotic worlds do indeed exist, and one of the most famous examples is the planet 55 Cancri. Scientific research shows that this exoplanet is twice the size of Earth and 8 times heavier, and its composition may consist of 30% carbon, which under incredible pressure transforms into diamonds.
This means that the planet's interior may contain treasures beyond our wildest dreams.
But what is truly shocking is that the surface temperature reaches over 1300 degrees Celsius, and the atmosphere is mostly composed of carbon compounds, creating hellish conditions completely unsuitable for life as we know it. However, this is not the only intriguing detail. The planet orbits its star in just 8 hours, making its year incredibly short, as if time flows faster than on Earth. But this is not the strangest thing.
Researchers suggest that the planet may have a large reserve of carbon in the form of graphite and diamonds. But the question is how these diamonds formed and how long they can remain in such a state. Do you know what's even more shocking?
Scientists believe that such planets may be quite common, and some of them are located just a few dozen light years away from us. Imagine, in our galaxy there may be entire systems of diamond worlds where conditions are so far from the familiar that our entire astronomy could change when we discover them. The existence of such planets opens doors to new forms of life and resources that we could hardly have imagined.
Research on Planet 55 Cancri A continues, and astronomers hope to learn more about its atmosphere, structure, and of course, what lies in its depths. And do you know what's even more incredible?
Blazars can be located more than 1 billion light years away from us, but their influence is felt on Earth due to the high energy particles they emit. These particles can be dangerous for satellites and even for some communications systems. But what is truly fascinating? Scientists still do not fully understand how these incredibly powerful jets are formed and why they are directed in such a way. Did you know what's even more interesting? Blazars can change their properties depending on the angle of observation. When we look at them from different angles, they can appear as completely different objects. This leads to the fact that the same blazar can be classified as a quasar, a galaxy, or even a radio source depending on the time and place of observation. And that's not all. Some of these objects can emit radioactive waves that reach Earth, creating unusual cosmic phenomena such as radio bursts.
For example, blazars like BL Lacertae were first identified in the mid-20th century and continue to amaze astronomers with their mysteries.
The brightest known blazar, PKS 233, emits such powerful jets that they can affect galaxies located tens of millions of light years away. And the question remains, how can these distant objects affect us here on Earth? The Hubble Space Telescope, in its 30 years of operation, has made over 1,400,000 observations, equivalent to the amount of data that could fill around 150 terabytes. Imagine if every person on Earth sent one photograph of the night sky. Hubble has revealed previously unseen corners of the universe, showing us what galaxies look like at distances of billions of light years. But that's not all. Its observations have helped confirm the existence of exoplanets, planets orbiting other stars. The most amazing thing?
With Hubble, astronomers have been able to witness galaxies colliding and merging, creating new stars in the process. Each year, the Space Telescope provides around 90 terabytes of new data, which are then analyzed by thousands of scientists worldwide. These data allow us to delve into questions such as the origin of black holes and the behavior of dark matter. For instance, Hubble captured the moment when a black hole swallowed a star, which was a major breakthrough for astronomy. Each new image obtained by the telescope opens up new horizons and raises even more questions.
On other planets like Uranus and Neptune, even stranger phenomena occur. For instance, on Uranus, polar auroras can appear in unique colors, different from the familiar green hues. This is due to the composition of the atmosphere and various chemical reactions that take place during the interaction of charged particles. How many more mysteries does the cosmos hold, waiting for us to uncover them? In our galaxy there may be up to 40 billion planets that are similar to Earth in their characteristics, and many of them are located in what is known as the habitable zone of their stars. The habitable zone is the area around a star where conditions could be suitable for the existence of liquid water, which is a key condition for life as we know it. Imagine this. These planets could have temperatures that allow water not only to freeze but also to evaporate, meaning they could have vast oceans, rivers, and even lakes.
Research conducted with the help of the Kepler telescope has found that about 20% of stars similar to our Sun have one or more such planets. Do you know what this means?
Every 10th star could have a planet similar to ours, located at a distance where water can exist in a liquid state. But that's not all. Scientists suggest that there are planets in our galaxy that could be completely covered in water, like oceanic worlds. For example, exoplanets like TRAPPIST-1 or Gliese 1214 show signs of water oceans. And now, the most mind-blowing part, some of these planets could have atmospheres suitable for the formation of life, where clouds could contain the elements we need. Scientists even suggest that on some of them, there could be ecosystems completely different from those we see on Earth. What else might the universe be hiding? Studies show that there are many systems in our galaxy where planets are located in the habitable zone, and each of them could have its own unique conditions for life. And now, imagine if we could discover civilizations that have been developing for billions of years, independently of us. These planets could be the cradle of life, about which we are not even aware yet. And the most exciting part? These stars have magnetic fields 1,000,000 times stronger than Earth's, allowing them to maintain their shape even at such high speeds.
And that's not all. Pulsars can be used to study the earliest stage of the universe when it was silent and cold, before stars began to emit light. Did you know that observations of pulsars can provide a new perspective on dark matter? Research shows that waves emitted by pulsars can interact with dark matter and create unique signals that we are just beginning to understand.
Thus, by studying these rotating stars, we are approaching the solution to the mysteries hidden in the depths of the cosmos. At the center of some galaxies lie quasars, which are among the brightest objects in the universe. Imagine that their luminosity can exceed that of 1,000,000,000,000 stars, making them incredibly powerful energy sources. These cosmic phenomena occur when massive black holes consume surrounding matter, including gas and dust. As this matter approaches the black hole, it forms an accretion disk that heats up to astronomical temperatures, and that's where the real madness begins. Temperatures in this disk can exceed millions of degrees Celsius. But that's not all. Quasars emit powerful streams of radiation and particles that can reach speeds close to the speed of light. Did you know that some quasars are located more than 10 billion light-years away from us? This means we see their light as it was in the distant past when the universe was still young. These objects are not just bright, they can also be larger than entire galaxies, with a radius reaching tens of thousands of light-years. If you thought that was shocking, wait until I tell you how quasars can affect surrounding galaxies. Their powerful emissions can trigger star formation in neighboring regions or, conversely, suppress it.
In some cases, quasars can even cause changes in the structure of the galaxy itself. Scientists have found that quasars can be both sources of light and destroyers for their galaxy.
And the most incredible thing, quasars can change their characteristics, becoming less active or completely fading before flaring up again with renewed vigor. It is estimated that there are more than 100,000 active quasars in our universe, and this number continues to grow. And now, imagine that these objects, which we can observe only because of their incredible brightness, are actually the key to understanding the formation of galaxies and the evolution of the universe. On Titan, Saturn's moon, there are enormous methane lakes, and this fact makes scientists ponder about possible forms of life. For example, what are the chances of finding life on planets that orbit red dwarfs, where hot Neptunes might be in the habitable zone? Research continues, and each newly discovered hot Neptune opens new horizons for astronomers and scientists. Some of them may even have water clouds that, as suspected, could contain traces of chemical compounds necessary for life.
In the constellation of Taurus lies the Crab Nebula, which is not just a beautiful sight, but the remnant of a supernova explosion that left its mark on the history of astronomy.
The explosion occurred around 900 years ago, but its light reached Earth and was recorded by Chinese astronomers in the year 1554. Imagine that the light from this event was so powerful that the star was visible even during the daytime for several days.
The Crab Nebula is one of the most studied objects in the sky. Its diameter is approximately 6.5 light-years, which means it is enormous, like an entire galaxy.
But the most astonishing thing is how this stellar remnant continues to influence the surrounding space. At the center of the nebula lies a neutron star, known as a pulsar, which rotates at an incredible speed. It completes a full rotation around 30 times per second. This means that each flash we see is the result of the incredible energy released in the process. And here is where it gets really mind-boggling. The pulsar emits powerful radio waves that can be detected even on Earth. And what's even more shocking, around the Crab Nebula are clouds of gas and dust that glow due to their interaction with the pulsar's radiation. These clouds contain elements such as oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen, which are the basis for the formation of new stars and planets. In the end, the Crab Nebula becomes not just a monument of the past, but a cradle for new cosmic forms of life. Every time we observe this object, we see how an ancient star that exploded many centuries ago continues to influence cosmic evolution. And now imagine that scientists suggest that the conditions created by this explosion could have led to the emergence of life on nearby planets. What do you think? What else might such nebulae like the Crab Nebula hide? For instance, when observing the rotation of galaxies, scientists noticed that the speed at which stars move along their orbits doesn't match the masses that would be expected based on visible matter. Do you know what that means? In galaxies like our own Milky Way, stars move so fast that they lack the mass to stay together without additional invisible matter.
Research shows that dark matter can be concentrated in what are called halos, which surround galaxies, creating invisible structures that govern their formation and evolution.
And now, here's something even more astonishing. There are theories that dark matter consists of particles that have not yet been detected. These particles are called WIMPs, weakly interacting massive particles. Scientists have spent decades searching for them, conducting experiments in deep mines and underground labs, but so far without success. But what happens when these particles collide with each other? Can they create new forms of matter?
Understanding dark matter opens doors to even more mysterious concepts, such as dark energy, which, according to some estimates, makes up around 70% of the universe. Now, consider this. If we can't see nearly 95% of the universe, how does that affect our understanding of the cosmos? Scientific research continues, and each new step brings us closer to unraveling this cosmic mystery.
But here's the most shocking fact. Dark matter could exist in the form of streams that permeate space, but we can't even detect them. Imagine that 86% of all matter in the universe simply disappears from our field of vision. This is not just science fiction, but a reality we encounter when we talk about dark energy, a mysterious force that makes up approximately 68% of the universe and is responsible for its accelerated expansion. It acts like an invisible hand, pulling galaxies apart at speeds greater than the speed of light. But how is this possible? This discovery forces scientists to re-evaluate theories about the formation of planetary systems, as it suggests that many more factors than previously thought can influence planetary orbits.
Did you know that some of these hot Jupiters could even be swallowed by their star in a few million years?
For example, the planet HATP-7b, located about 170 light-years away from us, exhibits such an anomalous orbit that its existence could end tragically in 30 million years.
Each new day brings new mysteries about these strange planets, and scientists continue to search for explanations of how such gas giants can arise and exist in conditions that seem completely unsuitable for them.
Cosmic strings are hypothetical one-dimensional defects in the structure of space-time that could have emerged in the earliest moments of the universe's existence. Imagine these strings as threads stretching through infinite space, their lengths potentially reaching trillions of kilometers, while their widths are just a few nanometers. They can be so thin that they are undetectable with current technologies. But what is truly astonishing is that cosmic strings can possess an incredible density, many times greater than the density of an atomic nucleus. How is this possible? They can form as a result of quantum fluctuations where energy and matter interact at the most fundamental levels. What is even more remarkable? These strings can cause space-time to curve around them, creating gravitational anomalies that could potentially affect the motion of planets and stars. But that's not all. Cosmic strings can act as pathways for matter, allowing it to travel vast distances faster than light.
In some theoretical models, it is suggested that they can interact with dark matter, adding further complexity to the study of this mysterious component of the universe. What might these strings look like?
Scientists are already developing technologies that will allow us to explore such distant worlds, and soon we may get answers to questions that have puzzled humanity for centuries.
On Jupiter, a gigantic storm known as the Great Red Spot is raging, and it's not just a meteorological phenomenon. Its size could contain 3 Earths.
Imagine a vortex that has been existing for more than 350 years, with wind speeds reaching up to 170 kilometers per hour. This means that a hurricane that could destroy any city on Earth here seems like a gentle breeze. When astronomers first noticed this spot in 1761, They had no idea that it would become one of the most studied objects in the solar system.
But that's not the strangest thing. This storm is not only enormous but also constantly changing. Research shows that it is shrinking every year, and its shape is becoming more oval.
There are theories that this is due to changes in Jupiter's atmosphere, but the exact causes remain a mystery. Now imagine that under this storm, there is not only a bright red spot, but also numerous other atmospheric phenomena. For example, around it smaller storms are raging, creating incredible vortices and eddies, which are many times stronger than any hurricanes on Earth. Did you know that the temperature in the upper layers of clouds reaches minus 30 degrees? It's like flying in the mountains in winter, but much more extreme.
But that's not all. Thanks to powerful telescopes like Hubble, astronomers have been able to see that under the Great Red Spot there are also other layers of the atmosphere, hiding even deeper mysteries. With each new study, scientists discover that Jupiter's atmosphere is full of surprises, including lightning that can be 30 times more powerful than Earth's. And what's even more shocking,
These lightning strikes can generate radio waves that can be detected on Earth. Thus, this storm is not just a spectacle, but a real laboratory for studying atmospheric phenomena in conditions that we can hardly imagine. And just when you think you know everything about the Great Red Spot, new facts emerge that make you wonder, what other mysteries does this enigmatic planet hide? Indeed, the black hole in M87 is a key to understanding many aspects of our universe, and scientists are still working to unravel its mysteries. The question remains, what else do we not know about black holes? For example, how exactly they form and evolve over billions of years. Scientific astronomical observations have uncovered completely unusual planets known as hot Jupiters, which orbit their stars in the opposite direction, defying all existing theories of planet formation.
did you know that among the more than 400 known hot Jupiters, the majority orbit in a clockwise direction, while some do so counterclockwise? This challenges our conventional understanding of how planetary systems form. Typically, planets are formed from the accretion of gas and dust in a disk around a star, and they should all orbit in the same direction.
However, data collected by telescopes like Kepler shows that some hot Jupiters, located up to 30 light-years away from Earth, orbit in a manner that seems to be forced in the opposite direction to the rotation of their stars. For instance, the planet WASP-121b, discovered in 2012, completes a full orbit around its star in just one day, being 10 times closer to its star than Mercury is to the Sun. Imagine the temperature on the surface of this planet reaching over 2,000 degrees Celsius, making it one of the hottest planets known to science.
But that's not all. It also exhibits unusual atmospheric phenomena, such as clouds of molten glass. Research indicates that such planets may be the result of gravitational interactions with other massive objects, such as neighboring planets or stars.
Imagine this. At the moment when a star begins to form, these molecules can interact with other chemical elements, creating conditions suitable for the emergence of life. This discovery has become a new stage in the search for answers to the question of how life could arise not only on Earth, but also in other corners of our galaxy.
But what is truly shocking? In some cases, the concentration of ethanol in these molecules can reach up to 1%. How is this possible?
In the cosmos, there exists a cloud that will astound you, Sagittarius B2. This gigantic cloud contains up to 7 billion litres of ethanol. Imagine this. Such a volume could fill more than 30 million modern Olympic swimming pools. But this is not just alcohol, it is ethanol, which forms as a result of complex chemical reactions among stars and molecules in interstellar space.
Did you know that this cloud contains enough alcohol to supply every nation on Earth for a whole century? But how can such a quantity of substance exist in one place?
The fact is that clouds like Sagittarius B2 are remnants of destroyed stars that release enormous volumes of gas and dust. These melted substances, once part of stars, transform into complex organic molecules, including alcohols. Now, consider that this cloud is located more than 26,000 light-years away from Earth. This means that the light we see today was emitted during an era when our planet was home to only the simplest forms of life. But that's not all. Sagittarius B2 contains not only alcohols but also more complex molecules that could be precursors to life. It's intriguing that some astronomers suggest that such clouds could be the cradle for new planetary systems. This opens up exciting prospects for the search for extraterrestrial life. But what is even more shocking, the wind speed in this storm can reach 177 kilometers per hour, making it one of the most powerful atmospheric phenomena in the solar system. And now imagine this. Inside this hexagonal structure, not only do winds rage, but temperatures can drop to minus 200 degrees Celsius. How can such a cold storm exist for decades? The secret lies in the fact that Saturn possesses powerful internal heat, which maintains the activity of its atmosphere. But what is even more astonishing, this storm is constantly changing. Its shape and color can vary, and scientists have even observed flashes that appear and disappear like fireworks. Compare this with hurricanes on Earth, which usually last only a few days or weeks.
Saturn's hexagonal storm, on the other hand, seems to refuse to abate. Scientists continue to study it, and each new image reveals new mysteries. Have you ever wondered how this storm can affect the atmosphere of the planet itself? Research shows that the hexagon is not only beautiful, but also plays a crucial role in Saturn's thermoregulation. This opens up new questions about how the atmospheres of other planets may function.
But what is truly astonishing, despite all our technologies, we still cannot precisely explain why this hexagonal storm has persisted for such a long time. Each new discovery makes us wonder, what else does this distant planet hide? Now imagine this. Astronauts returning from a spacewalk begin to talk about the cosmic smell. It's not just a scent, but a mix of hot metal, welding, and even cooked meat. How is this possible? The reason is that when astronauts' suits come into contact with open space, they collect the tiniest particles that remain on their surface after leaving Earth's orbit.
For instance, when spacecraft leave Earth's atmosphere, they encounter particles that don't fit into our usual classification. These particles contain various molecules that, when heated, start to evaporate and create that very smell. But that's not all. Astronaut Chris Cassidy describes these aromas as particularly strong when he returns to the spacecraft after a spacewalk. He describes it as a smell you can't forget. What are these mysterious molecules?
The smell includes particles like carbon compounds and even traces of iron, which are formed through interaction with solar radiation. But this is not just about chemistry. Some astronauts note that this sensation can evoke deep emotional experiences. When they re-enter the spacecraft, it reminds them that they've just left the familiar world. And what's even more shocking, scientists have started to explore how we might use this cosmic smell on Earth. Some suggest it could be the basis for new fragrances or even perfumes. Remember that on Earth, the traces left by humans often disappear within a few years, but here on the Moon, they will remain visible for millions of years. In this context, the Apollo missions opened a window into our cosmic heritage, leaving behind physical evidence of human courage and the desire to explore.
Each step left on the lunar surface can tell a story about how we, as a species, overcame obstacles to reach new horizons. These are not just tracks, they are signs of civilization that will remind us that once, on this lifeless world, humans walked.
And as we continue to explore other planets, these lunar tracks remain our monument, frozen in time, waiting for new explorers to return to this mysterious surface. Imagine someone finding these tracks thousands of years from now and asking themselves, who are these brave people? The translation maintains the style, tone, and factual information of the original Russian text, ensuring a natural and fluent English version. In the cosmos, there exist objects that cause scientists to be simultaneously awestruck and terrified. Blazars. These quasars, which are supermassive black holes at the centers of galaxies, have a unique characteristic. Their jets, composed of matter, are ejected at incredible speeds and are directed straight towards Earth. Imagine a stream of matter moving at speeds reaching 90% of the speed of light, making them some of the brightest objects in the universe. But what is even more astonishing, during ejection, these jets can be 1,000,000 times brighter than the entire light emitted by our galaxy. If anyone has ever wondered what would happen if one of these jets were to hit our atmosphere, the answer is shocking. The impact would be equivalent to 30 million solar flares occurring simultaneously. This means that space can not only expand our horizons, but also inspire the creation of entirely new products. Each of these aspects raises numerous questions about how exactly space conditions affect our perceptions and emotions.
Don't you think this is simply incredible?
There exist exoplanets of the class hot Jupiters that are true cosmic hells. They experience showers of molten glass and iron. Imagine that the temperature on such planets can exceed 1,000 degrees Celsius, and winds blow at speeds of 5,000 to 7,000 kilometers per hour. This is not just strong wind, but real hurricanes that can tear apart clouds of molten metal into tiny droplets. On exoplanets like WASP-121b, the atmosphere consists of heavy elements, and due to intense heating, thermal separation occurs. Lighter gases rise while heavier elements sink and are ejected as rain. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Showers of glass move across the planet, forming real tornadoes of liquid metal that can reach heights of several kilometers. What's even more astonishing, the atmosphere of hot Jupiters is so dense that it can retain heat, creating a greenhouse effect that exceeds all our notions of climate on Earth. These planets are so close to their stars that their surfaces are literally incandescent. On hot Jupiters like HD 209458b, scientists have discovered the presence of water vapor and carbon, as well as other elements that would be inaccessible on Earth. These exoplanets become true laboratories for studying extreme conditions, opening new horizons for astrophysicists. There are even theories that hot Jupiters might harbor ecosystems adapted to such extreme conditions, which we can barely imagine. And perhaps the most incredible fact, on the planet Kelt 9b, the surface temperature reaches 2000 degrees Celsius, making it the hottest known exoplanet to date. These facts do not just shock, they make us wonder how much more we still don't know about other worlds beyond our solar system. The planet WASP-12b is astonishing not only because of its proximity to the star, but also because it is literally evaporating in space. On the planet HD 189733b, rain is not just an inconvenience but a real catastrophe. Temperatures reach 1000 degrees Celsius, and winds can reach speeds of 8,700 kilometers per hour. Imagine standing under a downpour of glass shards that fall from the sky with such force that they can cut through metal. This exoplanet, located about 25 light-years from Earth, has an atmosphere composed of silicate particles, which transform into sharp shards under the influence of high temperatures. What is even more shocking? On HD 189733b there are hurricane rains that can reach speeds of over 8 kilometers per hour, making this planet one of the most dangerous places for life, if it could exist there. The wind on this planet is so strong that it can blow away clouds almost instantly, creating conditions where rain from glass shards becomes a spectacle, but not for humans, rather for distant observers. The entire surface of the planet is covered with oceans of molten glass, where constant storms and acidic rains create unique but horrifying conditions. Scientists suggest that such an atmosphere could have formed due to the strong radiation from the star around which it orbits, which also affects the composition of its atmosphere and climate. How could such extreme conditions have arisen? This is due to the fact that HD 189733b is a hot Jupiter, a planet that is very close to its star and receives an enormous amount of solar radiation. This leads to intense thermal processes that result in such terrifying phenomena as glass rain. But that's not all. On this planet, there are also changes in atmospheric pressure that lead to the formation of unusual clouds resembling smoke. There exists a fascinating world of electromagnetic oscillations that can be converted into sound waves. These oscillations arise from the interaction of various cosmic objects and phenomena, from vast magnetic fields to solar flares.
NASA, for example, actively uses these electromagnetic signals for its research. When the Galileo probe, for instance, explored Jupiter, it detected electromagnetic waves emanating from this giant and converted them into sound.
Now imagine these sounds resemble trills and rustles like music composed by the planets themselves.
Moreover, these sound waves help scientists understand how various objects interact with each other and what processes occur in planetary atmospheres. The most astonishing thing is that recordings from such research can be heard on special platforms.
For example, the sounds captured by the Cassini spacecraft which explored Saturn not only amazed scientists but also became actual musical compositions, delighting astronomy enthusiasts.
Signals from polar auroras were converted into sounds that resembled enchanting melodies, enriching our understanding of the cosmos.
These conversions require complex technologies and deep knowledge in physics and astronomy, and each new sound reveals a piece of the mystery hidden behind the stars. This symphony of sound, created in the silent void, carries information about how our world is structured and what forces act within it. And when you ponder what it is like to listen to the cosmos, remember that each sound you hear is not just a result of conversion, but a part of a vast picture that we continue to decipher.
Did you know that electromagnetic waves can transmit information over distances exceeding billions of kilometers?
Imagine a planet where a day is longer than its year. A full rotation around its axis takes 243 Earth days, while its orbit around the Sun takes only 225 days. You heard it right. A day on Venus is longer than its orbital period. This creates a fascinating effect. When you stand on the surface of Venus, the Sun rises and sets only twice during a Venusian year. But that's not all.
Due to its slow rotation, the planet experiences extreme temperature fluctuations, reaching up to 460 degrees Celsius on the surface, making it the hottest planet in the solar system.
In the minds of physicists, they could resemble long, thin threads vibrating in a multi-dimensional space, creating waves that could be detected in future experiments. And here's the question. If cosmic strings do exist, why haven't we found any evidence of their existence yet? One answer could be that they are so stable that they do not decay, simply waiting for the moment when scientists can detect them.
It is interesting that some physicists believe these strings could be connected to the concept of a multiverse, where our universe is just one of many, connected by such threads.
However, to confirm these theories, much more data and observations will be needed. Scientists are actively researching string theory and quantum gravity using tools like the Large Hadron Collider. But what is truly intriguing is that if cosmic strings do exist, they could be the key to understanding not only the formation of the universe but also its future. And imagine if we were to discover one of these strings. It could revolutionize our understanding of physics and space-time. And this is just the tip of the iceberg in the world of string theory. On other planets in the cosmos, there are genuine polar auroras, and on Jupiter, they are hundreds of times more powerful than on Earth. Imagine these bright light shows that we can observe in our sky have their counterparts on giant gas planets, and their scales are simply breathtaking. On Jupiter, auroras can reach heights of up to 1,000 kilometers and can be several times brighter than the brightest northern lights on our planet. This is due to Jupiter's powerful magnetic field, which is 20 times stronger than Earth's.
When charged particles from the solar wind collide with the planet's atmosphere, they cause amazing light effects that can be seen even from space probes. But that's not all. Jupiter's auroras are not only more powerful but also diverse. They can take on different colors, including green, blue, and even purple, depending on which particles interact with the atmosphere. Isn't that astonishing?
On Jupiter's moon Ganymede, there are also polar auroras, although not as powerful as on the planet itself.
But that's not all. Within nebulae, there are areas where stars can form in groups, leading to the creation of entire star clusters. This means stars are not born alone, but in whole families.
And the most extraordinary thing, in such clusters, stars can interact with each other, exchanging energy and even absorbing each other. Stars formed in the Eagle Nebula can become part of new galaxies that astronomers will explore billions of years from now. There are countless such nebulae throughout the observable universe, and each one holds its own secrets of star formation, waiting to be discovered.
On the Moon, you can still see the tracks of astronauts who walked on its surface during the Apollo missions. These are not just footprints, they have been preserved in conditions where there is no atmosphere, wind, or water to erase them.
Imagine this. The tracks left by humans in 1969 will remain unchanged for millions of years.
It is the lack of erosion that makes the Moon a unique repository of human history. The footprints of astronauts and the tracks of their equipment, such as lunar rovers and scientific instruments, continue to tell the story of the bold steps taken in space.
Furthermore, the lunar regolith that covers the surface has properties that allow these tracks to be preserved in perfect condition. The presence of microscopic particles, such as glassy grains formed by meteorite impacts, provides additional protection. And that's not all. There is no vegetation on the Moon that could hide or destroy these tracks, making them true artifacts that will be available to future generations. This means that the light from these objects started its journey when the universe was significantly smaller. How is this possible?
The scientific explanation lies in the fact that space itself is expanding, carrying galaxies with it, and this expansion is not related to the movement of objects through space.
For instance, in the 20th century, astronomers Edwin Hubble and his colleagues noticed that distant galaxies are moving away from us, and the farther they are, the faster they are receding. This discovery formed the basis for what is known as Hubble's law.
But wait, there's more. Scientists assert that in the very beginning, during the Big Bang, the universe expanded not just quickly, but at an incredible speed, almost instantaneously, in a process called inflation.
This phase could have led to the observed universe's colossal size. And what is most astonishing?
Due to this infinite expansion, we will never be able to see objects beyond the visible part of the universe, because the light from them will never reach us, as the space between us and them continues to expand.
Thus, we live in a world where the imagined boundaries of the universe seem infinite, and we are constantly amazed by its mysteries. Scientific research continues to uncover new secrets, and perhaps one day we will witness the beginning of time. Imagine an infinite cosmos where stars sparkle, yet not a single sound can be heard. This is not just a figment of imagination. The vacuum of space prevents sound waves from spreading as we are accustomed to hearing on Earth, since sound is the vibration of molecules, and there are none in the void. But wait, this does not mean that silence reigns in space. Now imagine if there were eruptions on Olympus today. Clouds of ash would rise to heights exceeding all the mountains on Earth, creating a breathtaking spectacle that could be visible even from Earth. And if human colonizers ever set foot on Mars, they could see something incredible, a red planet shrouded in clouds from volcanic eruptions. All this raises questions about what other mysteries the red planet hides under its dusty mantle.
One day on a neutron star can last only a few milliseconds, and this sounds like science fiction, but in reality it is a fact. These cosmic objects rotate at incredible speeds, reaching hundreds of revolutions per second.
Imagine that in 1 second on such a star, more events occur than in an entire year on our planet.
When a star is formed as a result of a supernova explosion, the remnants of its core are compressed to an incredible density, resulting in a neutron star where 1 teaspoon of matter can weigh around 1,000,000 tons.
But that's not all. The rotation speed of a neutron star can reach 150,000 kilometers per hour. How is this possible? The fact is that during the collapse of the star, its angular momentum is preserved, and it begins to rotate faster and faster. This leads to the phenomenon known as a pulsar, where a neutron star emits radio waves in the form of regular pulses, like a cosmic lighthouse. Now imagine that these pulses can occur at such a frequency that one day on a neutron star lasts only 8 milliseconds. This means that such a star can make more than 100,000 revolutions in one Earth day.
Neutron stars have magnetic fields that are 30 million times stronger than those on Earth, and this creates conditions where even light can be bent. And what else is shocking? Many of these objects are located at distances of tens of thousands of light years from us, and we can observe them using radio telescopes.
The phenomenon of pulsars has been a breakthrough in astrophysics. Scientists have discovered that some of them can be used as cosmic clocks with incredible accuracy.
Each pulsar emits its pulses with such regularity that deviations can be as small as a few nanoseconds over billions of years, and this opens up new horizons in our understanding not only of matter but also of time.
In the constellation of Aquarius lies an incredible water cloud, containing a staggering 143 trillion times more water than all the oceans of Earth combined. Yes, you heard it right. This cloud of water, located approximately 12 billion light-years away from us, is a true cosmic ocean, whose mass exceeds the mass of Earth by 1 billion times.
Its discovery was a shock for astronomers, as it means that the universe contains water reserves that we could barely imagine. This cloud is primarily composed of water vapor molecules, and its temperature is approximately minus 260 degrees Celsius.
But how is this possible in the cold cosmos? The cloud formed from gases expelled during the birth of new stars, and it contains around 1 billion liters of water. What's even more astonishing? This cloud contains not just water but particles that can form new stars and planets. This means that life could potentially originate in this ocean. But that's not all. This cloud has become a subject of study for scientists who are trying to understand how water, one of the most essential components of life, can exist in such colossal quantities. For instance, how does it interact with the surrounding environment in such extreme conditions? This opens doors to new research on how life on other planets might look and exist. Imagine this. If just one area of the cosmos contains such vast amounts of water, how many more unexplored worlds might lie beyond our solar system? And here's where it gets truly mind-boggling. This cloud could contain organic molecules that could serve as the basis for the emergence of life on other planets. This could revolutionize our understanding of the universe and what it means to be alive.
Now, imagine that scientists are already working on methods to send probes to study these water clouds, and perhaps in the near future we will be able to learn whether there is life on other planets and how it could develop in such unusual conditions.
But let's return to the cloud in the constellation of Aquarius. Its area is more than 32 billion square light-years, making it one of the largest bodies of water in the universe. Compare this to the size of Earth. Our planet is several billion times smaller than this cosmic ocean. How could such enormous water reserves be used? Perhaps in the future, humanity will find a way to utilize resources from space for its needs and to sustain life on Earth. And the most incredible thing? This water cloud could provide us with clues on how to search for life on other planets and what they might look like in the future.
On Mars, there is a volcano called Olympus, which is the highest mountain in the solar system. Its height is 21 kilometers 900 meters, which is 2.5 times the height of Mount Everest.
Imagine this. The elevation is so great that its base covers an area equal to the entire territory of the state of Arizona in the USA. Olympus is not just a mountain, it is a colossal shield volcano that formed due to numerous eruptions over billions of years. These eruptions were so powerful that the volcano reached such immense sizes. Compare, Mount Everest is 8,888 meters high, and Olympus in this context looks like a true giant, surpassing its rival by 3 times in height. But that's not all. Its slope has an angle of only 8 degrees, making it less steep than many Earth volcanoes, but its size is still breathtaking. What's even more astonishing? This volcano remains active. Scientists suggest that the last eruptions could have occurred just a few million years ago. Volcanic activity on Mars has led to the formation of remarkable geological structures, such as fissures and canyons that can reach depths of several kilometers. If you think that on Earth we see all the wonders of volcanic activity, then on Mars there is a whole range of unique formations that we are not even aware of. For example, on its slopes, traces of lava flows have been found that once flowed down, leaving behind marks as if they were rivers flowing across the surface. These flows indicate that in the past there were conditions on the planet that favored the formation of water flows.
But the main discovery is that there may be large water reserves under the surface of Mars, which opens up new horizons for the study of this mysterious planet. Each meteor is like a book filled with mysteries and stories written billions of years ago. In the cosmos, there exist mysterious planets known as hot Neptunes. These giants, similar in size to Neptune, are located at an incredible proximity to their stars, resulting in extreme conditions.
The temperature on the surface of such planets can reach thousands of degrees Celsius, making them incredibly hostile to life as we know it. Imagine a world where the atmosphere consists of hydrogen and helium, with clouds of hot water and silicate that constantly boil and hiss. Some of these planets are located just a few million kilometers from their stars, which is much closer than Mercury to the Sun. This means that their year can last only a few Earth days, and one orbit around their star can take just a few hours. How do they form? The secret lies in the fact that such planets form in cold parts of the cosmos and then migrate towards their stars, where they become victims of gravitational attraction.
As a result, they experience intense heating and lose part of their atmosphere, making them even more unique.
But that's not all. Scientists have discovered that on such planets there can be enormous winds with speeds reaching 1,000 kilometers per hour. How is this possible? The intense solar radiation creates powerful thermal flows that accelerate the atmosphere to incredible speeds. And the most shocking thing? Some hot Neptunes have their own ring systems, similar to Jupiter's, but due to the high temperature, they don't look like the familiar rings we know. They're more like clouds of hot gas and dust. How does all this affect the study of exoplanets? Scientists are actively researching hot Neptunes to understand how planets form in other stellar systems, and what conditions can exist on them. These studies can fundamentally change our understanding of the possibility of life in the cosmos. Imagine lakes that cover an area comparable to the size of Lake Superior in North America, filled not with water, but with liquid methane and ethane. These lakes are not just decorative, they are the result of complex atmospheric processes that create unique conditions reminiscent of early Earth. Titan's atmosphere consists of 80% nitrogen, and the pressure on its surface is 1.5 times higher than on our planet. This gives the impression of being on another planet, yet with familiar elements. How is it possible that conditions similar to Earth's could exist on such a distant moon? Now, the most intriguing part, the temperature on Titan reaches minus 150 degrees Celsius, making methane liquid and allowing it to form rivers and lakes. These natural formations become places where chemical reactions can occur, potentially leading to the formation of simple life forms. But how do these processes work? On Titan, there are methane rain clouds that fall to the surface, filling lakes and rivers, much like water rain on Earth. This is truly astonishing. Complex cycles can occur in Titan's atmosphere, similar to the water cycle on our planet.
But that's not all. Beneath Titan's surface, there may be oceans of liquid water that could create even more favorable conditions for life. Research conducted with the Cassini spacecraft has shown that beneath the icy crust, there may be warm layers that provide the necessary environment for the emergence of biochemical processes. And the most mind-boggling part? Some scientists suggest that life on Titan might look completely different from what we are accustomed to, possibly in the form of methane microorganisms adapted to extreme conditions.
It's important to remember that Titan is not just a cold moon. It is a world full of mysteries and possibilities, waiting to be explored. Scientific missions like Cassini and Titan NT can open new horizons in the search for life beyond Earth, and each new image captured from the surface of this enigmatic moon could fundamentally change our understanding of life in the universe. Imagine an object, the size of a small star, rapidly falling into a black hole. This moment is known as cosmic spaghetti, and it occurs due to the incredible force of gravity acting on the object. There are theories that in these conditions, molecules can arise that could not exist under normal conditions, opening doors to new worlds of chemistry and physics. And what is truly intriguing, such regions in the universe may hold the key to solving many mysteries, including the origin of life. How many more such nebulae are hidden from our eyes, waiting to be discovered? In our galaxy, the Milky Way, there are hidden between 100 and 400 billion stars, and this is just the beginning. Imagine this. In each of these stars there could be its own planetary system, potentially billions of planets where life could originate. But that's not all. According to the most accurate estimates, there are around 2 trillion galaxies in the universe. This number is so vast that it's hard to even imagine how much light and heat these celestial bodies emit. Have you ever thought that if we could see every star in our galaxy, they would fill the entire sky, leaving no room for darkness? Moreover, there are stars in the Milky Way that are 8 times more massive than our Sun, and they emit light that reaches us after thousands of light years. Now, imagine that in a galaxy similar to ours, there could be life completely different from ours, living on planets orbiting red dwarfs or even in systems with black holes. This is not just a fantasy, but a real possibility.
What's even more astonishing, some astronomers suggest that in other galaxies there could be forms of life that use silicon instead of carbon as the primary element, which would completely change our understanding of life.
And this is just one of many theories that are sparking intense debates in scientific circles. Imagine discovering a world where life looks entirely different from what we are accustomed to seeing. This is not just interesting ideas, but real research being conducted using the most advanced telescopes, such as Hubble and James Webb. They can peer into the darkest corners of the universe and see light that was emitted billions of years ago.
Scientific methods like spectroscopy already allow us to analyze the atmosphere of exoplanets and search for chemical traces of life, such as oxygen or methane. Gamma-ray bursts, GRBs, are truly cosmic phenomena that release energy in seconds equivalent to what the Sun emits over its entire lifespan, about 10 billion years.
Imagine this. In the moment of a burst, so much energy is created that it can surpass all other sources of light in the universe. These bursts, essentially, are explosions of stars that end their lives in catastrophic events known as supernovae.
But that's not all. There are 2 types of gamma-ray bursts, short, lasting less than 30 seconds, and long, which can last for several minutes.
Long gamma-ray bursts, typically associated with the collapse of massive stars, can reach energies of trillions of joules. For comparison, this is equivalent to the energy released in the explosion of 1,000,000 tons of TNT. What makes these bursts so intriguing is that they occur at distances of billions of light-years from Earth. When we observe a gamma-ray burst, we are actually witnessing events that took place in the distant past.
For example, the GRB 2102, recorded in 2002, occurred more than 8 billion light-years away from us. This means we see it as it was in ancient times, when our universe was still young.
Now imagine how these colossal explosions can affect the surrounding cosmic environment. Gamma-ray bursts eject enormous streams of high-energy particles that can distort magnetic fields and even affect the atmospheres of planets.
80% of gamma-ray bursts occur in galaxies where stars are forming particularly actively, making them not only powerful but also indicators of processes happening in these distant worlds. The most shocking thing? Some scientists suggest that gamma-ray bursts might be linked to the formation of black holes, and their study could help us understand how these most mysterious objects in the universe are formed. But that's not all. Research shows that if a gamma-ray burst occurs close enough to Earth, it could have a devastating impact on our atmosphere. Gamma-ray bursts remain one of the most mysterious topics in astronomy, and their secrets are just beginning to be revealed.
In the 18th century, scientists were already trying to understand the nature of light, but it is only now, with the help of modern technologies, that we can peer into these distant and powerful events. Picture the gravity at the equator of a black hole being 20 times stronger than on Earth's surface. At this distance, not even light can escape.
As the object approaches the black hole, the difference in gravitational pull between its top and bottom becomes so great that it begins to stretch the object like dough.
This process is called spaghettification. However, when the object reaches the boundary known as the event horizon, it cannot return. This invisible barrier is shocking. Even if you could observe the fall, you would never see the object cross the event horizon. Instead, it would disappear into the black hole, like into an abyss. What actually happens to the object after this? Inside the black hole, gravity becomes so strong that all known laws of physics cease to function, and we do not know what happens there. Scientists suggest that everything that falls in could be compressed into a point of infinite density, known as a singularity. This raises the question, what if black holes contain other dimensions or even alternative universes?
Theories about the multiverse are gaining more attention, and many researchers believe that black holes could serve as entrances to other galaxies.
There is even a hypothesis that information about falling objects does not disappear, but is preserved on the event horizon in the form of quantum traces. This opens doors to new understandings of the nature of space and time. Some physicists, such as the renowned scientist Stephen Hawking, propose that black holes could evaporate over time, emitting radiation now known as Hawking radiation. But how is this possible if they absorb everything that approaches them? The mystery of black holes and cosmic spaghetti continues to captivate the minds of scientists and astronomy enthusiasts. Remarkably, theories that black holes could rewrite information challenge our notions of reality and time.
Pluto is not just a planet, it is a whole world full of mysteries and enigmas that are just beginning to be revealed. Consider this. What would the conditions be if we could go there?
And here's another intriguing fact. On Pluto, there are ice mountains reaching heights of up to 3 kilometers that resist the pressure of frozen gases and appear as sharp peaks against the backdrop of ice plains. How were they formed?
This is another mystery waiting to be solved.
The spacecraft Voyager 1 has become a true symbol of human engineering and the desire to explore the vast cosmos, traveling over 24 billion kilometers from Earth and becoming the first human-made object to leave our solar system. Imagine this. It was launched in 1977, with its mission focused on exploring Jupiter and Saturn, but beyond these planets its fate was entirely different. This car-sized spacecraft carries a golden record containing sounds and images that are meant to tell future civilizations about us if they ever find it. What is truly remarkable is that Voyager 1 continues to transmit data even more than 40 years after its launch, making it one of the most durable spacecraft in history.
When it crossed the boundary of the heliosphere, where solar wind meets interstellar medium, it was a major scientific breakthrough. Instruments recorded a sharp change in particle density, confirming that it had indeed entered interstellar space. What's even more astonishing, Voyager 1 is moving at a speed of over 40,000 kilometers per hour, meaning it covers a distance equal to more than 5 times the distance from Earth to the Moon in a year. Each new signal it sends contains information about cosmic rays and magnetic fields, helping scientists better understand how our solar system interacts with its surroundings.
And now, imagine that it can still function, even when its solar panels receive only a fraction of the sunlight, as they are so far from the Sun. But what truly intrigues is, how many more galaxies like ours are hidden in the dark matter that we cannot even see?
Estimates show that dark matter makes up about 26% of the total mass of the universe, and its influence on the formation of galaxies is enormous. In every galaxy, there could be countless stars and planets waiting to be discovered. Every day, about 100 tons of cosmic material in the form of meteor dust fall to Earth, meaning we live in a true star shower.
Imagine this. Every minute, particles that could be ancient fragments of comets or asteroids left over from when our solar system began to form, rain down on our planet. It's as if we receive small cosmic gifts every day, which may contain traces of molecules essential for the emergence of life. For instance, some scientists believe that meteor dust could have brought amino acids to Earth, which formed the basis for the first living organisms.
But that's not all. Only a small fraction of these 100 tons reaches the surface, as most of it burns up in the atmosphere, creating magnificent meteor showers.
Did you know that the meteors we see in the sky are the result of tiny particles like grains of sand burning up? They travel at speeds up to 100,000 kilometers per hour, and when they enter the atmosphere, the temperature can rise to several thousand degrees, creating a brilliant light. But what's truly astonishing is that some of these meteors can be large enough to survive falling to Earth. Over 200 meteors have been found and identified as extraterrestrial visitors.
For example, the Hoba meteorite found in Namibia weighs over 30 tons and is about the size of a small bus. It's not just a random chunk of metal, it's composed of iron and nickel, and its age is estimated to be over 15,000 years.
The most incredible part? Some meteors can contain information about the early days of our solar system, as they formed when the planets were just beginning to take shape. Studying them allows us to look back in time, to when Earth was just starting its existence.
Moreover, scientists have discovered that meteors can contain water molecules, which challenges our understanding of how water could have appeared on our planet.
In some cases, meteors even contain organic compounds that could explain how life began its journey on Earth. Furthermore, researchers continue to study meteors to understand how they can aid in future space missions. For example, some of them contain elements that could be used as fuel for interplanetary travel. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of what meteors can tell us. Imagine this, the temperature on its surface reaches over 1200 degrees Celsius, making it one of the hottest known exoplanets. But that's not all.
Due to the incredible gravitational force exerted by the star, the planet takes on an egg-like shape. Its equatorial diameter is nearly 30% larger than its polar diameter.
This means that if you could see it from afar, it would appear as a giant egg floating in space, roughly the size of Jupiter. But how does it maintain this state?
The gravity of the star it is so close to causes its surface and atmosphere to literally evaporate, forming clouds of hot gas that drift into space.
And here's where it gets really interesting. According to astronomers' calculations, the planet loses about 330,000 tons of its mass every 8 hours. That's equivalent to the weight of an entire stadium disappearing into the void each night. But that's not all. Due to this constant evaporation, WASP-12b is surrounded by a cloud of hydrogen and helium that, theoretically, should form an atmosphere. Instead, it simply drifts off into space. Now, imagine being on the surface of this planet, where each moment could be your last, as the atmosphere disappears with every passing second. Are there any forms of life on this planet? Or is it a lifeless void devoid of oxygen? Scientists cannot yet answer these questions, but one thing is clear. Studying exoplanets like WASP-12b can fundamentally change our understanding of the possibility of life in extreme conditions. It's fascinating to consider how such a planet could have formed so close to a star and why its fate is so tragic. To understand this, we must delve into the details of planetary system formation. At the center of our galaxy, the Milky Way, lies a supermassive black hole named Sagittarius A star, whose mass is 4 million times greater than that of our Sun. Recent discoveries in space are astonishing. Molecules of alcohol, including ethanol, have been found in gas clouds from which stars are formed. Imagine this. In the heart of interstellar space, where absolute darkness and cold reign, there are chemical compounds that we associate with holidays and joy. But here's the twist. These molecules can form at temperatures close to minus 260 degrees Celsius. This means that even in such extreme conditions, components that form the basis of life on Earth could exist.
But this is just the beginning. Did you know that in the Orion Nebula alone, over 100 molecules have been discovered, of which nearly 30 are complex organic compounds?
This discovery makes us ponder how life could have emerged not only on our planet but also in other corners of the universe. Scientists from the European Southern Observatory have identified these molecules using spectroscopy, which allows for the analysis of light passing through gaseous clouds. But that's not the most amazing part.
In clouds located more than 1,000 light-years away from us, stars can form that potentially have planets with conditions similar to those on Earth. How is this possible?
Clouds composed of hydrogen, helium, and other elements can become places where chemical reactions occur, leading to the formation of organic compounds. By the way, the most common alcohol in space is methanol, which surprisingly can serve as a source of carbon for future life forms. And now it gets really mind-boggling. Imagine microscopic particles that could potentially carry these organic molecules to the surfaces of comets and asteroids.
These celestial bodies colliding with planets could be the cause of the appearance of life on new worlds.
You won't believe it, but in some cases it is claimed that comets brought not only water but also organic molecules necessary for the start of life to Earth. And if you thought such findings only fuel interest in astrophysics, wait until you hear this. In recent years, astronomers have discovered that alcohol molecules not only exist in clouds but can also influence the process of planet formation.
If we could observe the process of spaghettification, what would we see when the object starts to lose its shape? How would it look? It seems that the process could be both scientific and artistic, making us witnesses to something truly magnificent.
There are many more questions than answers, and each new step in the study of black holes reveals more mysteries. Now consider this. What if each black hole hides entire worlds waiting to be discovered? The temperature in space can surprise even the boldest researchers. In the Boomerang Nebula, for instance, it drops to an incredible minus 273.25 degrees Celsius.
This is not just cold, it's below absolute zero, challenging all our notions of physics. Consider this. How is it even possible for such conditions to exist?
The scientific explanation lies in the fact that molecules in this region barely move, and this state is achieved because the gas expelled by a star at the end of its life expands and cools.
For comparison, under normal conditions, molecules move, generating heat. But in the Boomerang Nebula, it's the opposite, silence and cold rain, suppressing movement.
But that's not all. Astronomers have discovered not only low temperatures but also very unusual structures resembling hourglasses. These structures form due to the interaction between gas and dust, creating a stunning visual effect. And what's even more shocking, the Boomerang Nebula is located about 14,000 light-years from Earth, but it was only discovered in 1988 thanks to the Hubble telescope. This discovery astonished scientists, as it was previously believed that temperatures below absolute zero were impossible. But who could have imagined that such anomalies could exist in space? Scientists continue to study the Boomerang Nebula to understand how such conditions affect the formation of stars and planets. Imagine the process where new stars begin to form from cold gas under the influence of such temperatures.